Hello, my name is Romolo Tschantret from Time and Space Travel Solutions. Thank you for coming back. This is still part of the 5-part series that we discussed earlier. Today we will be talking about, are UFOs actually true? I will present all my evidence and all my research in a way easy enough for everyone to understand. So let's start with, are UFOs actually true? To some people, they are, but to the governments, they are not. And let me explain why there's a difference. People do not know actually what the governments are doing. So they don't know what spacecrafts they're building, they don't know what technology they have. So in their vision, everything that they see that they don't understand is actually true. It's a UFO. What is the definition of a UFO? An unidentified flying object. They can't identify it to anything that they know about. So to people, it is a UFO. But to the governments, it's another aircraft that they're working on to achieve higher space or air technology. What it does is it hides the progress of what the government is actually doing. So when you see a UFO and you report it, all of a sudden you always get the answer, I don't know, I never heard of it, we don't have anything on radar, we haven't seen anything ourselves, and so they can't, not that they can't, but they won't verify if it's a UFO or not. They won't verify their technology, so you can have other countries see what technology they have. So of course they're not going to state it. Another thing, what it does is it's really nice. I mean, it's nice for the economy. It makes a lot of money. If you go to the store, what do you see? Flying saucers, space aliens. I mean, it just generates a lot of financial stability for a lot of stores. So they like to say, yes, there are UFOs. Can you prove that there's not? Another thing is, a lot of people, as we see on the TV shows, a lot of people find this very enjoyable to research to see if it's actually true or not. It gives them pleasure to say, what if there's something there? What if we ever find out? You see, it's enjoyable to watch, enjoyable to really set our minds to a higher degree of intelligence out there, if there is any. So again, it's something that's very enjoyable. Another fascinating thing about it is, and this I will bring out at the end also, is that it gives people a hope that someday, the way the earth is going today, that someday, somehow, there's going to be higher intelligence from outer space coming to our planet to save us because we're damaging it so much. So, so they're going to give us this marvelous technology and we'll be saved. And, so it also gives them that hope. So they want something to believe in. If they don't believe in religion, they want to believe in science. So the science will save them. Something has to save them. So that brings them hope and happiness. It also helps them to feel like there's a sense of community together. They got, the internet has so many people coming together talking about flying saucers, aliens, and everything. And so they tally up all the information that they heard from other people. It's a community. And a community feels really nice that people believe in what you believe in. That way you don't feel like an outcast being the only one that doesn't believe it. And obviously these shows are making millions of dollars, so a lot of people are enjoying this community feeling of kinship towards each other. Again, it also gives them the hope that the aliens or people from outer space will give us some knowledge that people from Earth cannot figure out. So, because if there are these spacecrafts, then they would have some kind of higher intelligence, and they could figure out a lot of the things that our scientists have not figured out. So that's what it gives them. One thing you have to really acknowledge, and this is hard for people to acknowledge, there's always speculative proof of UFOs and aliens. Speculative. There's no evidence. There's no tangible evidence to show that we have technology from another planet or we have aircrafts from another planet. Another thing is the government has a lot of organizations in it, as we know. And in those organizations, a lot of the organizations don't know what the other organizations are doing. So of course, even if you reported it to one part of the government, the other part of the government doesn't know. So in their minds, they'll be honest with you. We have no proof that there's UFOs going on. So our data says, yeah, some people have seen things, but they don't know what's being developed. These are classified things. They don't want to share them with any other country or any other person or anything, because we are always in the process or situation of a war occurring. So they wouldn't want them to know that we have these certain aircrafts that are capable of doing more than what they're showing us. It's better for them to know, that we believe that there's aliens around, there's flying saucers around, that people will discredit. You know, the true scientists will say, okay, there's UFOs that are not proven, and so maybe not. So there's no significant difference of them really researching it. And another thing is very important. If the governments can make these UFOs that people believe are there, their enemies, then the money and the research spent for them are okay. They're talking trillions of dollars every year. So we have to be prepared. We've seen movies and TV shows where the governments are preparing if someday some alien happens to pop up in our doorstep. We must be prepared to take the situation to the worst scenario that would happen, as they will use us as slaves or take over our planet. So again, it's always back and forth. Save us, take us over. You see, it's always back and forth of what this is. So that's why they wanted to keep it complicated. That way, you really are not figuring what they're actually doing. This is an important aspect also. Many times when we hear that there's a spacecraft crash, the government's moving swiftly, quickly to clean up the mess. How stupid would they be if they didn't do that? It doesn't have to be an alien ship. It would be utterly ridiculous for them to leave it for civilians to find their most recent achievements in aircraft technology and just say, oh, sorry, we crashed one of our ships and everybody has all the knowledge now. No. You see, that's why they move in swiftly and quickly to protect their research that they spent billions of dollars on. It would be asinine to assume that this is an alien technology that they rush to get. How do you think they know where it is so quickly? How do you think they move in things so quickly when there's a crash? They're the ones flying it. They're the ones keeping it under radar. They're the ones that are using it so to see what it could actually do. They don't care who sees it, but they don't want anybody to get their hands on it. Another thing is, even though when people do see these aircrafts and they see these unknown markings on them, these hieroglyphics or some kind of pattern they don't understand, tell me, how easy is it to print something up like that and put it on there just in case the plane does crash? You see, again, easier to have a conspiracy going on to say, wow, this is fascinating. We saw these writings that we couldn't understand. There's over 6,000 different writings in the world, our world, 6,000 different writings. Even if you saw something in a different language, you didn't take any pictures of it, but you see it and you say, wow, they're writings I've never seen before. So what? They could make up something, or they could even use another language. There could be somebody from another country working on it, and they put some markings on it. I mean, it's not that difficult to think of something. We have artists every day making new pictures. It's not difficult to make, new kinds of letters, new kind of writings. There's no books to evaluate what it says. Nobody can interpret it. Of course not. They don't want you to interpret it. Common sense will help you find out reality. And these spaceships, you will find out reality. That the governments are working on spacecrafts, and there's been no evidence at all. But people find it interesting, and every little thing, that's the fascinating part. You ever watch these shows? They're running. Somebody found some evidence, and they're running as fast as they can to find it. They got their car at 9,000 miles an hour, and they stopped there. The evidence disappeared. We don't know how it disappeared. The governments came in and took it. Do you think with the cameras and all the newscasts and all the people with phone cameras and everything wouldn't actually find actual evidence of this? Of course they would, but they don't, and it just happened to escape just in time. So again, really consider what you're learning and what they're teaching you. This is another important aspect of these aircrafts. The governments are developing extraordinary technology, and so what they're developing, when you realize and put one and one together, you will see actually what they developed. These spacecrafts that they developed are going supersonic speed, faster than any jet that they're saying is out there, But let's look at the reality of how it's being done on holograms. And when you really think about the holograms and what they do, you will see that they have to be a hologram, and it cannot be a spacecraft. So what people are seeing is not actually a spacecraft. It's a hologram. They're experts at these holograms. It's magnificent. Mach speed is approximately 761 miles per hour. 761 miles per hour. When they hit that point of Mach speed, there's a supersonic blast when both airways hit together, and the speed that they pass by, they smash together and make supersonic speed. When they're flying these airplanes, they have to wear a special suit, a suit that compresses their legs so tight to make sure the blood doesn't go down there, because the blood from their brain automatically descends down to their body. So they have to have a suit that's pressuring their legs, their body, so the blood stays on their brain so they don't pass out, you see. And so you hear the Mach blast. And believe me, when you hear that Mach blast, I've had that happen to me when I was in New Mexico, when one of the fighter jets, I don't know if he was fooling around, I don't know what he was doing, but he was awfully low and flew by my car at Mach speed. What a sound. Scared me to heck. I kind of pulled over because it's really loud. I mean, it's like a massive explosion. These UFOs that you're seeing are moving faster than Mach speed. Not only are they moving faster than Mach speed, they're moving at Mach speed and turning back and forth. I like to show you just a little, I have a little pointer here. I'm going to show you a little something. Hopefully you can see this. When you're moving Mach speed like this, if you move Mach speed like this and you turn back like this and you turn back like this and you turn back like this, their brains would be splattered from one side of the ship to the other. It's utterly impossible to move faster than Mach 4, Mach 5 that they're moving, and that's why, whoop, they disappear. Look at this. They're gone. Oh my God. You know how fast you would have to go for a plane that you see here, say you're right here watching it, and it's right here, to go and disappear? You see how that happens? Utterly impossible. They cannot achieve that speed. Their plane would, their spacecraft, that's another thing. Their spacecraft generates a massive amount of heat. That's why there's heat shields on airplanes. Because of the heat, the faster you go, the heat builds up. So if he's going, the thing would turn on fire, just like when Indians used to warm up the wood and start the fire. This alien craft would be like, it would be dead. It would burn right up. You know, so they like you to believe that it's possible, because they like to put the impossible, some kind of anti-gravitational field, whoop, 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 passing back and forth, and nothing happens to the guy in there. Why don't you drive in a car at 80 miles an hour and turn around as fast as you can and, excuse me, I'm not telling you to do that. I don't want you to get in an accident. I'm just saying, if you even went 80 miles an hour and you turned around as fast as this, you'd fall out the car. You'd smash your head to the window. That's 80 miles an hour. 150 miles an hour. Why do you think when they do car races, they have people going around in a circle? They don't have them turning around. It would be impossible. They would crash. They would lose their life. Again, these are the fabrications that people are believing that are actually happening. And they talk about this all the time. You know, scientific impossibilities. That's a scientific impossibility. You can look at it however you like. When you put the impossible first, everything is possible. But when you look at the impossible and say, wow, that's impossible, then the rest of it doesn't fit together. It does not fit together. It's impossible. This fantasy is portrayed for two reasons. And these are the two reasons that we discussed. One is that they don't want you to know exactly what they are creating or what they're working on. The other is that they help people to stabilize the panic of the way the earth is going, that someday there is a possibility that there's going to be a savior, going to be some spacecraft coming to save them. So it does keep down the anarchy and believing that there's no way we're going to ever survive this world. And so they are the two reasons. So this ends this chapter on spacecrafts, alien spacecrafts and aliens. Are they true or are they false? Next time I'll go more into the alien part. But I want to thank you again for coming and seeing me and sharing this wonderful information with you. I really appreciate the company. This is Romolo Tschantret from Time and Space Travel Solutions. Thank you again.